Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here. We are getting ready to play Jakethecat on his journey through Eorzea and beyond. And now we're loading. I wanted you to see how cute he is when he wakes up in the inn. It's so adorable. He just kind of stretches his leg like a cat does. It's great. All right, I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit for me. All right. See if we have anything new. Completes in 6 minutes. All right. The Business of Betrothal. Speak with Guguremu at Costa del Sol. That, I believe, is our latest Hildibrand quest. I think. Let me double check that one. Ah, yes, Inspector's Log. Okay. Let's go do some fun stuff. And then we will go on an ally for Ishgard. See what Ellie has to say. Ellie says, this is Master Guguremu of the East Aldenard Trading Company and father of the bride. Let's see what he can tell us. Guguremu says, you're not one of my associates. This banquet is for invited guests only. If you have no business here, be on your way at once. Ellie says, beg pardon, good sir. My name is Ellie, reporter for the Mithril Eye. If I might have just a moment of... Guguremu says, ah, yes, that two-gill sensationalist rag. I read your tiresome screed about the self-styled, quote, phantom thief, unquote, in his letter of challenge. If you've come to tell me my daughter is in danger, I can assure you that your concern is entirely unwarranted. I have not kept my Arabella safe to this day to see her whisked away from me by some fly-by-night rogue. I have spared no expense in securing the best protection that money can buy. The brass blades of the Gerbera, an elite unit of the most lethal swordsmen in the Sultanate. They say one of them once caused a man's heart to burst just by looking at him askance. The moment they set eyes on the would-be thief will be his last. Riardian says, if the thief is obliging enough to allow himself to be seen, or do those goggles serve some purpose other than making the wearer look utterly ridiculous? Consulting Inspector Briardian, your reputation precedes you, and what, pray tell, would you propose? I have promised some of the wealthiest men in the realm that my daughter will be attending the festivities. To renege on my word would have dire implications for the family trade. Briardian says, my proposal is a simple one. Entrust the investigation to me. The thief will be in shackles before the banquet commences, and it will cost you not a whit of your precious gil. Guguremu, that sounds like a great deal for an Ul'dan. Very well, let us see if your reputation is deserved, but consider yourself warned. Greater fortunes than you will ever know hinge upon this banquet. I will not tolerate any disturbances. Ellie. Such touching concern for his coin purse. If only he could muster the same for his daughter. But do tell, Inspector, after he slipped under our noses the last time, what makes you so confident that you can catch our thief this time around? Briardian says, our man may boast 1,000 faces, but he has but a single modus operandi, and it is painfully obvious. A letter of challenge, a precious treasure whisked away from its rightful owner in the broad light of day. This tells me that our thief is an attention seeker with supreme confidence in his abilities. Doubtless he means to target the maiden using the same methods he used to abscond with the treaty blade. Even now, the fiend is in our midst, having assumed the identity of someone who will be in close proximity to Miss Arabella at the feast. I've already narrowed the field. Arabella's betrothed, Vanus, would be an obvious target for our thief, so too would be his father, Morgant. Yalto Noltol and his wife, Sainana, the guests of honor, will give a toast to the couple's happiness. Both will be standing close to the stage where the bride-to-be is set to appear. Needless to say, we cannot rule out Guguremu himself. Finally, we have Lewinhart as steward of Guguremu's estate, and Miss Arabella's personal attendant. All the key players, save for the Lapis Maiden herself, have assembled in Costa del Sol. Doubtless the Phantom Thief lurks among them, his face concealed, gathering information and planning his course of attack. Oh my god, there's Hildy. We will begin our questioning of the suspects immediately. Should you encounter any suspicious individuals, you are to report back to me at once. It's been fish slapped. Hildibrand Manderville. I could smell the stench of idiocy and incompetence from a mile away. The pleasure is all mine, contriving Inspector Briardian. Forgive me for not revealing myself sooner. I was simply conducting a bit of preliminary undercover investigative work. Yet to see through my ingenious disguise with such ease, yes, I dare say your powers of observation rival even my own. Fear not, friends. I, Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, inspector extraordinaire, have arrived to defend the maiden's honor as only a Manderville man can. Ellie says he does realize there's still a fish on his head. Let's try that again. He does realize there's still a fish on his head, doesn't he? Good Inspector, I realize we have not seen eye to monocle in the past, but a fair maiden's virtue, mayhap her very life, is at stake. From one gentleman to another, let us put aside our differences. Yes, I would welcome your assistance in this case. Briardian says, me? Assist you? Aren't you a funny man? Oh, it makes no matter. My plan is so flawless that not even your bungling can interfere this time. If you wish to assist me, you may do so by keeping watch over the suspects. In the meantime, I have a promising lead to investigate. I shall return before the banquet begins. While I know this may be asking much, do try not to do anything too stupid in my absence, will you? Briardian says, I would speak with you, but not here. I will be waiting for you outside Costa del Sol. Come quickly, for we do not have the luxury of time. What does Ellie have to say? Inspector Briardian seems to have taken a liking to you. You should be proud. As you can see by his treatment of someone we know, the man doesn't suffer fools lightly. Hildibrand said, "It is not by fate's whimsy that we have been reunited here today, friend. You were destined to be by my side as I apprehend the fiend and defend the fair maiden's virtue." Nashu has nothing to say to us. Okay. Oh, there he is. Didn't realize he was so close. You've come. Excellent. With that buffoon suitably distracted, we can get to more important matters. But before we proceed, what might I call you? An unremarkable name, but it will suffice. Now answer me this, Gav. You were there when the phantom thief in the guise of Lady Dorilda stole off with the treaty blade. Was there anything about our foe's disguise that struck you as particularly noteworthy? We could say the identical appearance, the perfect mannerisms, that is for me to know. The identical appearance. The obvious answer, and yet all too many, a certain self-styled gentleman comes to mind, could not recognize a clue if it hit him upside the face. Your observation is astute. A thorough investigation of the mass left behind at the scene revealed a tiny prism sewn into the fabric. It is this stone that allows him to change appearances at will. Clearly, our man is no ordinary thief. Magics far outside the grasp of the common folk are at his disposal. This, in itself, gives us insight into his identity and his ways. And yet, this is not what caught my eye. No, from movements to mannerisms to that utterly obnoxious personality, the thief did not merely look like Lady Dorilda, he was her. Such feat could not be accomplished by magical trickery alone. We are dealing with a clever and thorough criminal. Not content to rely on his ample powers of disguise, he studies his targets closely before assuming their identities. He emulates them utterly and completely, that not even their closest friends or family could detect what aught is amiss. All the key players arrived at Costa del Sol 3 days ago, when preparations for the banquet began. This would afford our thief more than enough time to study his would-be target, and yet some disguises are more challenging than others. Put yourself in the mind of our phantom, Gav. If you were the thief, whose identity would you first assume? We could say a brass blade, one of the guests. I will not say. A brass blade. Precisely. Clearly you are far less useless than the bumbling inspector's company you keep. I'm glad to know that I'm less useless. Strong in number, few of words, able to come and go as they please, a fearsome reputation to scare away any who would draw near enough to realize something was amiss. An ideal entry into Costa del Sol for our man. Deducing as much, I made a point to question brass blades in the area. Little to my surprise, I learned that there was one man who had not been seen at his favorite alehouse for 3 days past. Our thief has not made a habit of wanton murder. Doubtless the poor man is lying naked in a ditch not far from here. In addition to general security duties, each of the blades has been assigned to serve as bodyguard for one or more of the guests. If the man can tell us of his assigned charge, like as not, his answer will reveal the current identity of our thief. Our thief would not have had the time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediately. Let's try that again. Our thief would not have had the time to carry the unconscious man far. I will canvass the immediate area. You begin your search on the outskirts of Costa del Sol. Right. Let's fly on over there. Brass blade of the Gerbera. That's actually a daisy. Gerbera daisy is type. Riardian says, excellent. You are one of the less incompetent assistants I have worked with. Breastplate says, thank the gods. Please free me from these chains before the snippers eat me alive. Riardian says, there, now tell me all that you can remember about what happened to you, and try to be brief. Breastplate says, We'd just arrived in Costa del Sol, had a briefing of sorts. Master Guguremu gave us each our orders, who we'd be looking after and the like. Had a mind to tour the area, get me bearings. Next thing I know, I felt a thwack on the back of my head. When I came to, here I was, stripped to my skivvies. Riardian says, much to the chagrin of those of us who have to look at you. They say you received orders from Master Guguremu. Who is to be your charge? My memory's hazy, but one was Morgant, father of the groom. The other was a Lala felon gent from Limsa. Yaltonoto. Now try your best to remember. Were there any other guests with whom you were ordered to interact? Come to think of it, yes. There was also the steward, Lewenhart. I was to review with him the schedule of events, discuss the protection of key supplies, that sort of thing. Morgan, Yaltonotel, and Leuenhardt, thank you. For an incompetent fool, your testimony has proven astonishingly enlightening. Riarian continues, I shall see this man back to the city and into the possession of some new clothes, after which I shall return to Costa del Sol to continue the investigation. Go on ahead of me, and for the love of the gods, just make sure that imbecile doesn't cause too much trouble in my absence. Good luck with that. Not happening. Speak with Hildibrand. Yeah, just sit back there. Ellie says, said the same thing. Okay. Hildibrand says, there you are, friend, and not a moment too soon, for I was about to commence my investigation in earnest. Tell me, did your and Inspector Briardian's avenue of inquiry bear fruit? Morgan, Yaltonotel, and the steward Leuenhardt, you say? This does not surprise me. Yes, I had considered them all exceptionally suspicious from the start. With the Lapis Maiden in danger, we cannot afford a moment's delay. I, Hildibrand, shall have our thief in shackles before the inspector returns. Fear not, friend. The inspector shall be none the wiser. If he had hoped to nab the fiend for himself, he should not have simplified the task for me so. Ellie just shrugs. There's one of our suspects standing suspiciously under that canopy over there. Just you wait, fiend, I shall rip the mask from your face and reveal you for the rogue that you are. Uh-oh. The lucky father of the groom-to-be, or the fiend who would sully the maiden's virtue, in a matter of moments all shall be revealed. Fantasy. I am Vanus, heir to the chairmanship of the Brugier Consortium. And who exactly were you again? I'm sorry, I just realized that I don't particularly care. What an ass. Guguremi says, all I have done to raise Arabella to a beautiful young woman has been in anticipation of this day. I have never been more proud to call myself her father. Morgant. Stand back, friend, says Hildibrand. The man we pursue is a criminal mastermind. The mere slip of the tongue could put our case, nay, our very lives, in danger. But have no fear, Miss Ellie. Ready your quill, that you might record my every word as I employ the time-honored act of parley, handed down from Manderville men of ages past, to reveal our foe. Ellie says, I can think of few topics that would interest my readers less than your blatherings. Just catch the thief so I can have my story, would you? Now she says, don't worry, Inspector. I brought my quill and journal too. Your adoring fans won't miss a word. Hildibrand says, capital. That is why you are my favorite assistant, Nashu. Now behold, as I ensnare our prey with a web of words leading to his inevitable demise. Good morning, Master Guguremu, and a fine morning it must be for you most of all. Allow me to offer my most heartfelt congratulations on your betrothal to the enchanting Miss Arabella. Guguremu says, what is this nonsense? Arabella is my daughter. You, just who in the seven hells are you anyway? Guards! Guards! Morgan says, ha ha ha. Now hold your chocobos, Guguremu. I recognize the lad. This is Hildibrand, agent of enquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Come to save the lovely lass from the clutches of the phantom thief, have you? I reckon we owe the man our gratitude, aye, Vanus? Vanus says, the phantom thief? Balderdash and rot, if you ask me. That said, my betrothed must be quite the beauty indeed, to have such rumors told about her. Perhaps she's worthy of me after all. Ha ha ha. Hildibrand says, he exudes an unusual degree of confidence for such an effete, fashion-challenged youth. Most suspicious. Ellie says, he's a damn sight easier on the eyes than you. Morgan says, that's me, Vanus, ever calm in the face of danger. Truly his father's son. Guguremu says, a worthy heir to the Bruguiere Consortium and a worthy match for my daughter, I must say. Yes, I foresee many years of prosperity for our families. Or family, I should say. Which reminds me, Master Vanus, Arabella asked me to convey her gratitude to you for the golden clasp you sent some months ago. It has not left her neck since the day. Vanus says, oh, that little trinket, 'twas nothing. Tell your daughter the greatest treasures in the realm will be hers once we are wed. Ha ha! Ellie says, the time-honored Manderville art of parley? We'd be sleeping with the fishes now had Morgan not spoke up on your behalf. That said, nothing about the interactions between the three struck me as particularly unnatural. Hildibrand says, ha ha ha! Let us not rush to conclusions, Miss Ellie. A gentleman fancies a more methodical approach. Yes, everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Nashu says, oops. I was supposed to be taking this down, wasn't I? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Hildibrand says, I sought only to earn the trust of the families before confronting Yaltonoto and Loonheart, who have aroused my suspicion from the start. Come, we have a thief to apprehend. Do they have anything new? Morgan says, Vanus is me own flesh and blood, heir to the Bruguiere Consortium. It barely needs saying that he'd settle for no less than the most storied beauty of the realm over. Okay. Vanus didn't have anything new to say. Sinina says, or Sinana, oh, how I am looking forward to meeting Miss Arabella. They say many a song is sung of her beauty. Mind you, there was a song or two sung of me in my day. Oh, she is cute. Lewinhart. Renting out Master Gugureju's private property would be almost unthinkable for most folk. But guild talks, and neither the Bruguiere Consortium nor the East Aldenard Trading Company are in any danger of running their coffers dry. I've not seen your faces around here. With the East Aldenard Trading Company, are you? Hildibrand says, why, yes, good sir, very much with them. Some might even say we are the East Aldenard Trading Company. Yalto says, oh, pleasure to meet you. Do tell, is the Lapis Maiden as lovely as they say? Sainana here's no slouch herself, but like me, she's getting on in years. No offense intended, my dear. Oh, but where are me manners? Yalto Noto o the Bruguiere Consortium, and this is me wife, Sainana. I look forward to many profitable dealings with you and yours in the moons and years to come. I dare say this wedding and the joining together of our family businesses couldn't be happening at a better time. What with all manner of fell beasts and beastmen taking aim at our wares. Why, just the other day, a shipment of imported foodstuffs was waylaid by the Mandragoras. Nasty buggers, the lot of them. If I were 20 years younger, I'd dice them up myself and make a salad out of it. Yalto Noto says, You have heard of the Mandragoras, haven't you? Hildibrand says, but of course, I once spent a year honing body and mind with the Fist of Roger. My fellow monks and I would chant several hundred mantra whatsits a day. Ellie says, and your food stores were occasionally raided by the ruthless band of rogue vegetables known as the Mandragoras, yes? Ellie said, would it kill you to read the Mithril Eye and educate yourself from time to time? Noonheart says, a fearsome lot they are. Rumor has it that they'll not rest until every fruit or vegetable harvested for consumption has been freed from captivity. Why, they struck at the larder here not just days ago. Our supplies were decimated. Fear not, my lady. I was able to arrange for an emergencies shipment to replace the stolen produce. It arrived safely some time ago. Yaltonoto says, settle down, Sanana. Forgive my wife, she's always saying how meat is bad for her figure, and with that I best go prepare my speech. Carry on, lads. Hildibrand says, Criminy, none of these three were suspicious in the least, but we must not give up hope, lest he of many faces have the last laugh. Where there is a will, a gentleman shall find a way. Come, Nashu, we must move quickly, or the Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. Nashu Makaraka says, you speak so fast, Inspector. The sign of a quick mind, I'm sure. Now, where was I? Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. The Lapis Maiden shall not be the only one to come to harm. Ellie says, I'm not sure that captures the Inspector's intended meaning. But there's no time for us to be standing around. Inspector Briardian will be back any moment now, and he's not the type to suffer excuses. Hildibrand says, quite so, Miss Ellie. Fortunately, I have a plan. Let us investigate the foodstuffs of which Master Lewenhart spoke. Should we find any contradictions in his testimony, we can consider the man a prime suspect. Inspector Briardian will be back before long. Come, Nashu, there is no time to delay. Does Lewenhart have anything else? Yaltonoto says, good food, good drink, and good times. At today's announcements, we'll send even more gil flowing into our coffers, only makes the wine taste all the sweeter. Alright. The manor guard says, I volunteered to guard the beach, and which beach did they send me to? Not the one with frolicking dances, no. Instead, I got to watch crabs scuttle. Nice. Oh, here they are. Passed right by him, didn't I? Ellie says, some of those coconuts don't look like coconuts. Nashu says, look at these. Now there's water, now there isn't. Now there's water. My god. Hildibrand, these crates must contain the foodstuffs of which Master Lewenhart spoke. At a glance, they do not appear particularly suspicious, but our investigation must not be deterred. Food supply. Crates of assorted foodstuffs and a veritable host of luscious-looking coconuts. It appears that our man Lewenhart spoke true. Egads! Are those explosives I spy concealed among those coconuts? Perhaps I spoke in haste. It would appear that we have found our phantom thief after all. Nashu says, oh, those are mine, Inspector. I was looking for a place to set them down, you see, and those coconuts were looking awfully lonely. Oh my god. Hildibrand says, Nashu, far be it from me to cast doubt on your choice of hobbies, but what in the name of the 12 would possess you to bring your creations to an investigation? Now she says, well, they were so helpful in jogging your memory that one time, and I just thought, does this mean you won't be needing this piece of driftwood either? Your enthusiasm is always admirable, Nashu, but in this event I fear it somewhat misdirected. Now, set the driftwood down over there and concentrate on taking your notes like the astute assistant you are. I say we were most fortunate that confounding Inspector Briardian is otherwise occupied at the moment. Were he to chance upon this scene, he would veritably explode in rage. Now let us dispose of these things before an errant ember sends us all to a fiery demise. Confounding Inspector Briardian, explode, a fiery demise. Got it. Ellie says, are you sure about that? Ellie, uh-oh. Don't look now, but someone has returned at the absolute worst time. You two were supposed to be keeping an eye on the suspects and staying out of trouble, yes? The inspector will have a fit if he sees you here. But, Miss Ellie, should Inspector Briardian come upon these explosives, the consequences will be even more dire. Ellie says, Gav and I will see that the inspector keeps a wide berth of the speech. You two just get out of here and be quick about it. Quick thinking, Miss Ellie. Come, Nashu, we shall return for your creations once Inspector Briardian has been led safely from the scene. Investigation calls us and we must heed its cry. Ellie says, all we have to do is lure him away from those crates. That shouldn't be too hard. Difficult, right? Briardian says, Inspector Briardian would share with you his latest findings. Let's try that again. Inspector Briardian would share with you his latest findings. So, Hildibrand has managed thus far not to destroy anything. Consider me something almost resembling impressed. Ellie says, indeed, but enough about Hildibrand. Gav and I have been waiting to hear your latest theories. We should go somewhere quiet and... An excellent idea, Miss Ellie. Ah, yes. That spot over there by the crates should suffice. There, of all places? But surely we could find something more scenic? Briardian says, I am not here on vacation. I am here to solve a case. Besides, we cannot afford to have our conversation overheard. That junk-littered beach should afford us some welcome privacy. Yes, Inspector. Privacy, indeed. Bloody hells. Don't worry, Gav. I'll figure out some way to lead him clear of the bombs. Ellie says, I think the tide is rising. We really should move to higher ground. Is it just me, or is there a bit of chill in the air? Perhaps we should go someplace warm. I, for one, welcome a respite from the sweltering heat. Besides, this will not take long. Oh, if you insist, Inspector, says Ellie. Briardian says, through the questioning of a brass blade attacked by our quarry, I have identified the 3 individuals most likely to be our thief in disguise. To wit, Morgant, Yaltonoto, and Lewinhart. The 3 of us shall split up, with each of us keeping watch over... Are the 2 of you listening? Ellie says, of course we are. Beg pardon, Inspector. Gav shakes his head, yes. Briardian says, you look unwell, Miss Ellie. Perhaps you were right. I, too, feel a chill wind blowing in. Mayhap we should continue our conversation elsewhere. But there is no need. Wait here, and I shall build us a fire. Hildibrand says, "Ha ha ha! Methinks the inspector has taken leave of his senses. The chance of locating suitable kindling on those barren shores is infinitesimal." Briardian says, "Here we are. This piece of driftwood shall serve perfectly. And as fortune would have it, I just happen to have a flintstone on my person." Hildibrand says, "There is no cause for alarm. 'Tis not blood that courses through the inspector's veins, but ice. I could not fathom a series of events that would lead such a calm and composed individual to lose his firm grip on that fiery torch." Nashu says, "Remarkable insight, Inspector. I must record these words for posterity." Whee! It's flying! What have we here? Everything is proceeding according to my master plan. Like they can hide. Could this be another challenge from the fiend? Surely you jest, Inspector. It looks nothing like his usual cards, see? Doubtless it's just the idle ravings of some madman. Perhaps so, but we must exercise due caution. Ah, there are 2 more pages. Give up hope. He of many faces will laugh last. It is not the lapis maiden alone that shall come to harm. It is more direct than his previous challenges, but there can be no doubt as to the sender. But what is this talk of another victim? The final page holds the answer, no doubt. The final page? Briardian says, "Confounding Inspector Briardian will meet a fiery demise." Oh, oh there it goes. Oh, no. Briardian says, You saw through the fiend's ruse. But how? Ellie says, let's just call it reporter's intuition. Are you hurt? Briardian says, a ringing in my ears, but otherwise no worse for the wear. You have my gratitude. Briardian says, Hildibrand Manderville, were you able to learn aught of the fiend who made this ignoble attempt on my life? Hildibrand says, I exhausted every effort, Inspector, yet I fear our quarry proves ever elusive. Briardian says, excellent. I might have died of shock if you had. At any rate, our foe has revealed himself as no mere thief, but a madman who will resort to cold-blooded murder. We must redouble our vigilance, lest the others come to harm. Hildibrand says, vigilance, yes, vigilance is the order of the day. Guguremu says, what in the name of the gods? Thals, teeth, those vegetables cost a fortune, and they're ruined. Ruined! Agent of inquiry? More like agent of injury and incompetence. You are to replace the supplies that you destroyed before the banquet begins, or I will see the entire lot of you rot in jail. Alright, let's see what Ellie has to say. I would ask how he survived an explosion at point-blank range, but something tells me that's one more mystery better left unsolved. Hildibrand says, thanks to our quick thinking, the bombs are no more, and the inspector is none the wiser. 'Tis a shame to see good food go to waste, though. Those coconuts look positively luscious. Now she says, is that a fish? I'm getting hungry. Briardian says, clearly our thief has decided that my prodigious intellect presents the greatest threat to his schemes. Perhaps he's a more clever man than I thought. Alright, speak with Lewinhart. Lewinhart says, what was that terrible explosion coming from the beach? Is everyone safe? Briardian says, fear not. The fiend's artless attempt on my life has been thwarted. Sadly, your food supply did not escape unscathed. Master Guguremu bids that the damaged ingredients be replaced with all speed. Lewinhart says, good gods, this is no thief. This is a madman. As for replacing the ingredients, I fear that will prove a difficult task. Those crates contained imported vegetables of considerable rarity, you see. Vegetables that are in particularly short supply these days, what with the mandragoras at large. Even if I were to place the order immediately, it would take days to arrive. Briardian says, mandragoras? I have heard of that fell band. Tell me, what manner of vegetables did they steal? Lewinhart says, the rarest was an import from the Far East. I do not recall the name, but it very closely resembled the Eorzean dragon pepper, save for its color, which was a deep purple. Hildibrand says, methinks you dost worry too much, Master Lewinhart. Our course of action is clear. We need only storm into the den of those overgrown weeds and steal your precious purple dragon peppers right back. Lewinhart says, I would advise against that, Inspector. These are no ordinary mandragoras, but rather a bloodthirsty band of killers given succulent flesh. Even the brass blades of the Gerbera proved unable to resist them. Oh-ho! A formidable foe indeed. Were only there a brave soul in our midst, with a want for taking on fearsome energies. Let's try that again. Oh, a formidable foe indeed. We're only there a brave soul in our midst, with a want for taking on fearsome enemies with not a shred of concern for his own well-being. Your eyes, friend, they speak to me, they say, I, yes, I, shall vanquish these rogue vegetables and deliver the purloined goods back to their rightful owner. I've been volunteered again. Loonheart says, you are truly a godsend, adventurer. One Sundamal of the Yellow Jackets has been charged with defending the roads from the Mandragoras. If anybody would have knowledge of their current whereabouts, it would be him. Without those ingredients, Master Guguremu's like to cook me instead. Please, friend, you're my only hope. Hildibrand says, a gentleman would never let his comrade face danger alone. Let us away to Limsa together. All right. Let's go to Limsa. All right, there's Sundamal. Sundamal says, if you come for the Mandragoras, I fear you're half a bell too late. As were we, blast it all. To hear the poor merchant tell it, no sooner had he opened his cargo hold to check on his shipment of vegetables than did an onion turn on him, screeching bloody murder. Fled his own vessel in sheer terror, he did. By the time he came to his senses, it had set sail without him. The merchant left for Aleport, hoping to recoup his losses. If you've a mind to go after the culprits, you might lend an ear to his sad tale. Hildibrand says, ah, is the thrill of the chase not invigorating, friend? The ferry docked by fisherman's body. The ferry docked by Fisherman's Bottom will carry us to Aleport. Let us be swiftly on our way. Speak with a tiny trader in Aleport. Tiny trader. Don't sneak up on me like that. I thought you were a feral turnip, a murderous eggplant, or something like that. Think I jest, do you? You'd be singing a different tune if a shot of tomato juice almost took out your eye as it did mine. My eye! By the time I regained me wits, they'd already set sail with me ship and me livelihood. I'm ruined, ruined! If I never see another bleeding onion till the end of me days, it'll be too soon. The tiny trader would ask you to save the realm from a vegetal scourge. To hear most say it, the Mandragoras are a nasty lot, a right pain in the arse to farmers and provisions the realm over. But let me tell you, friend, that ain't the least of it. Freeing their fellow fronds from our larders and tables is but the beginning. The bulbous blackguards have a far grander scheme. Revolution! Madness, you say? Take a ferry to the Isles of Umbra and see with your own eyes. A veritable vegetable kingdom where eggplants and turnips rule with an iron fist. This muscle-bound fellow with the dim expression, I could swear I've seen his face somewhere before. Bugger me if it ain't the undead overlord that fancies himself a gentleman inspector. Which would make you... Aye, could it be the adventurer that bested the thieving duelist in single combat? Yeah, we'll say yes. Well, bugger me and call me inspector. Tell me, is it true the duelist traveled with a demon bird whose crow could split the heavens? But that's neither here nor there. Look, I don't know about you, but I ain't so keen on the notion of calling a bloody tomato your grace. That's exactly the fate we're in for if we don't nip this revolution in the bud, and I mean that literally. As we speak, the Mandragores are planting themselves a whole army of their own kind on the Isles of Umbra. You'd be doing the whole realm a favor if you could go over there and uproot them before the harvest comes. Hildibrand says, many a case have I solved in my day, but I've not matched wits with sentient plant life before. This should prove quite exhilarating. To the Isles of Umbra. I don't know about you, but I ain't so keen on the notion of calling a bloody tomato your grace. I'm begging you, friend. Make for the Isles of Umbra and nip the vegetable rebellion in the bud. Alright, let's, you can fly over there, but it's faster to take the ferry. Let's eat some food. Distant voice. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. This is a good time to get my chocobo back out. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. More symbols. You feel a hostile gaze upon you. Pluck mandragora bloods at the Isle of Umbra. Okay. Uh-oh. Friend, my pursuit of the mandragoras has led me beneath the surface. Yes, they must be down here. Somewhere. Alright, let's commence the mandragoras. Alright, we have to level sync. You want to stay out of this. Let's get the jester down. that one out of there. I'm gonna ignore the praying mantis, because as soon as the king dies is... Alright. We made it. Impeccably fought, my friend. I only wish I had seen the battle with my own eyes. You may go on ahead to Costa del Sol. I shall be along as soon as I extricate myself. Probably the best thing to do is just burn them down one by one if you can, because I think they kind of heal themselves sometimes, and I'm not sure who does the healing. I'll have to look that up and get back to it. Let's go back to Costa del Sol. It helps if you have a tune that is a level fair bit higher and, you know, well armored, because it sinks you down, but it'll sink you down to still a little bit above those. So it'll be easier for you to complete that fate. Have your chocobo out, send the healing. That's what kept me alive there too. Now I probably, you know, I had health potions, you know, bloodbath and stuff like that, so I was okay there, but I think I died the first time I did that because I wasn't expecting it to be quite so intense. What took you so long, friend? The Isles of Umbra are but a short sprint away. I trust you have brought along the goods we so bravely reclaimed. You return. I feared you might end up a tasty snack for a crazed head of cabbage. Stolen foodstuffs. Foodstuffs pilfered from the stores in Costa del Sol. The stolen foodstuffs. You've saved my hide today. Oh, but I must see if those purple dragon peppers are intact. Master Guguremo is quite particular about his seasonings. Ooh, can I come too? I've never seen a purple dragon pepper before. Hildibrand says, the wild vegetable chase was a pleasant diversion, but it is time we return to the case. Now there must be some clue that yet eludes us. Nashu says, Core, the peppers have changed color. Hildibrand says, what's this? Peppers that possess the same powers of disguise as our many-faced foe? A gentleman must needs investigate. Briardian says, a striking shade of blue, quite far from the purple that Master Lewenhart described. Perhaps we recovered the wrong crate. Now she says, but look here, Inspector, the crate is clearly marked for Costa del Sol. How curious. Lewenhart says, did I say purple? I meant a purplish blue, or a bluish purple. The two colors are really quite similar when you think about it. Briardian says, these peppers have a most distinctive hue. No man could reasonably mistake it for any shade of purple. Unless, of course, he was wearing a very particular sort of eyewear at the same time. Ha-ha! The charade is up after the man, Hildibrand said. Is as I suspected all along. The goggles have proved the key to cracking the case. With speed, Nashu. The fiend must be brought to justice. Have we cracked the case yet? Should be interesting to find out. I think we have found the real Leonhardt. Briardian says, you can run, but you cannot. Hildibrand says, if you thought you could outsprint this Mandeville man, you are sorely mistaken. For pilfering a priceless blade, threatening a maiden's virtue, and untold crimes against the law-abiding citizens of Eorzea, I, Hildibrand, Agent of Enquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, hereby place you under arrest. Briardian says, done in by a snipper. A fitting end for an ignoble thief. Let us see what lies behind the mask. Oh, where am I? Who are you? Huh. Playing the fool will avail you not. I suggest you come willingly. A gentleman is not given to violence, but should you attempt to resist, I disavow responsibility for any shattered skulls and broken bones. Wait. I remember now. I was on my way to meet with Mistress Arabella when... Miss Arabella, I must find her at once. Oh, my head. Briardian says, it would seem that this man wears no mask. This is the true Leonhardt. Leonhardt says, I swear on my life that it is so. I was en route to the estate in Wineport when one of the brass blades on patrol approached me. We exchanged greetings, and in the next instant, he turned on me. I fought desperately to defend myself, even managing to drive a kitchen knife into the man's right hand. In the end, though, he proved too strong for me. Now that you mention it, the imposter was wearing gloves. I knew there was something suspicious about him. Briardian says, there is still time before the banquet begins. Knowing our quarry, he has doubtless already assumed a new identity. And yet he could not have foreseen this turn of events. It is unlikely that he had the time to thoroughly research his new target. Most importantly, we now know that the thief suffered a wound to his right hand. We need simply return to Costa del Sol and examine the hands of all present. An excellent plan, Inspector. While you do so, we shall accompany Leonhardt back to the estate that we might ensure Mistress Arabella's safety. I have found you, my little ones. Let me guess, you seethe with anger at those who took from you what was yours. Then it would appear our goals are in accord. Make for Costa del Sol and wait my orders. When the time is right, revenge will be yours. The game is afoot, inspectors. Now, what mask shall I wear to the ball? Speak with Arabella in Wineport. Hildibrand says, "Do I dream? But I must, for such beauty could not be of this world. A gentleman's heart swoons." Arabella says, Lunehart says, "Miss Arabella, what are you doing out here? You must return to the estate at once." Oh, Lewin, always the worrier. Your concern is touching, but I am a woman grown. Besides, I just wanted to see the flowers. Hildibrand says, "Lovely these flowers may be. They are as unsightly weeds when measured against your beauty. I am Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, inspector extraordinaire. Please call me Hildy." Arabella says, "The pleasure is mine, my lord. Much have I heard of your deeds. Tell me, are these rumors of a many-faced thief true?" Hildibrand says, "I fear they are, Miss Arabella, but still your gentle heart. For as long as Hildibrand is on the case, the fiend shall not lay a twisted finger upon you. This I swear on the Manderville name." Arabella says, "The gods smile on me indeed to send such a strong and handsome gentleman as my champion. And yet... Ellie, you seem pensive, milady. Is something the matter?" Arabella says, "To tell the truth, this marriage has been arranged against my wishes. I do not love Fanus. Why, I've not even met him. He sent me this clasp as a betrothal gift. A treasure from my treasures, wear it always," the message said. "I do not care how beautiful it is. It might as well be a golden shackle." Lunehart says, Miss Arabella, you must not say such things." Hildibrand says, "An arranged marriage to a youth you have not even met? Unconscionable." Arabella says, "Father says this marriage must happen, for it is the future of the family trade." Ellie says, "Spoken like a true Uldan, but if I may be bold, milady, would I be correct in assuming that you and your father are not related by blood?" Arabella says, "Quite so. Father found me amongst the beggars on Pearl Lane when I was just a babe. He took me in and raised me as his own. He took Lewin in as well, though as servant rather than son. You may think father a cold and miserly man, but to me he is the man who gave me warmth and hope where I had none. I will learn to love Vanus if that will make father happy." Hildibrand says, "You cannot be serious, Miss Arabella. You are a beautiful young woman with your whole life ahead of you. Surely you would not have to look far to find a gentleman with whom you would rather spend the rest of your days." Ellie says, "If I have to spend another hour with you, I'm like to lose my wits. But anyway, we should return to Costa del Sol and see how the inspector's investigation fares." Arabella says, "I, as well, must prepare for the banquet. Farewell, friends." Does she have anything else for us? "I must return to the estate to prepare for the banquet. Till we meet again, friend." Hildibrand. With a maiden's virtue hanging in the balance, Hildibrand would hasten back to Costa del Sol. "We've not a moment to lose, friend. The time of our final confrontation with the fiend is nigh." Our foe has doubtless assumed a new identity, but have no fear. Upon our return to Costa del Sol, I shall employ the time-tested Mandeville art of parley to cut through the fiend's flimsy facade. This is an art that I would impart to you as well, friend. Well, there will be a time enough for that once our foe is in shackles and Miss Arabella is safe. No doubt it shall prove as invaluable in your adventures as it has in my investigations, or, failing that, serve to entertain you when you have nothing better to do. But I digress. A gentleman must away to Costa del Sol. The fair maiden's life hangs in the balance. Ashu, Miss Ellie, with me! Right back to Costa del Sol. Hildibrand, that fellow under the table looks terribly suspicious. Under the table. Inspector Briardian, I have seen to the maiden's safety. Miss Arabella will be along soon. How fares your investigation? Briardian says, I've canvassed the grounds, but none of the guests are concealing their hands. How can this be? The thief must be somewhere. Gossipy gentlewoman. Miss Arabella just left her estate, I hear. I suppose we'll find out soon enough if her beauty is truly a match for our own. There's no time. Without the thief in custody, we cannot risk allowing Miss Arabella to take the stage. Ellie says, but, Inspector, Vanis and his family will not take kindly to his betrothed's absence. Briardian says, this is nothing of my concern. Besides, doubtless the inspector here will think of something. Me? What do you propose? Briardian says, you're the expert at creating diversions. Can't you just knock something over, blow something up, or the like? You know, like you always do? Inspector Briardian, I knew the day would come when you recognized my many talents. Worry not about Master Vanis. Yes, for the sake of the maiden, a gentleman will do what must needs be done. Oh, God. Briardian says the poor sop lacks even the wits to know when he's being insulted. Now to the task at hand. We must find a way to conceal Miss Arabella's true identity. Ellie says, not far from here are the servants' quarters. There should be a change of clothes lying about. Briardian says, perfect. Gav, find some suitably ordinary garb and deliver it to Miss Arabella outside the gates. I shall proceed with the investigation. Leave the betrothed and his family to me, my friend. Master Vanis will not suspect for a moment that aught is amiss. Sure. Briardian says, find some inconspicuous garb from the servants' quarters, deliver it to Miss Arabella outside the gates. I shall proceed with the investigation. Okay. Oh, there's the clothing. Has the Lapis Maiden arrived yet? I simply must look upon her beauty for myself. Servant's garb, you say? I much prefer what you're wearing, but we certainly have enough rags to go around. Here you go. Do with them as you will. Was she just flirting with him? I dare say she has good taste, if she is. Arabella, greetings, friend. Oh, what's this you have for me? Servant's guard, sewn in a competent fashion by a reasonably talented tailor using materials of a satisfactory quality. These garments have been kept in acceptable shape, and more than likely they commanded an average to fair price at market. Could we be more blasé? Servant's garb? But why? Miss Arabella, With the thief still at large, the risk of letting you be seen is too great. Change into these clothes and promise that you will not leave my sight. But the ceremony, Father will be furious, and Lord Vanus. We are dealing with a man who tried to blast me to the heavens and almost succeeded. We cannot exercise enough caution. As for the ceremony, I have entrusted the matter to a certain gentleman. You need only concern yourself with your own safety. Newinheart says, we should do as the inspector says, Miss Arabella. Your life is more important than this marriage, or whatever profits your father stands to gain from it. Lewin, if Father heard you say such things... Newinheart says, I should have said them long ago. By not doing so, I have put your life in danger. But besides, we have not one but 2 skilled inspectors in the case. It will not be long before the fiend is brought to justice. Very well. I shall retreat to the carriage. Pray wait for me here. My apologies for the delay. What should I do with my banquet dress, Inspector? Gav, bring Miss Arabella's dress to that bumbling inspector. I dare not speculate as to how he intends to see to his task, but I would imagine he requires all the help he can get. Now, let us return before the festivities begin. All right, back we go. I wonder if Gugu Raymond has anything new to say. Nope, nothing new for them. Riordan says, you will not elude me this time, fiend. Hildibrand says, ah, you return. Me? I was in the act of formulating a master plan to distract Master Vanus at the ceremony. Is there aught I might do for you? Breathtaking dress, an expertly tailored dress certain to make eyes bulge and hearts stop. Why, this is Miss Arabella's dress? I must admit to some confusion as to what to do with it, but worry not, I shall take it into safekeeping. And with that, I must attend to Master Vanus before the ceremony begins. Worry not, friend, I assure you that Inspector Briardian and I have the situation entirely under control. Why not find yourself a seat and enjoy the festivities? Oh, God. Alright, destination. This ought to be good. Curses, how am I supposed to find my man with all these people milling about? Alto Nota says, friends, family, business associates, 'tis an honor and a pleasure to welcome one and all to Costa del Sol for today's feast, co-hosted by the Bruguiere Consortium and the East Aldenard Trading Company. Sainana says, we trust that you've been enjoying fine food, fine spirits, and profitable conversation. Mirthful merchant, the Lapis Maiden. If even half the tales of her beauty are true, Vanus is the luckiest bastard in the realm. Morgan says, Yalto Noto Senana, honored guest. It's a great pleasure to announce the betrothal of my son Vanus, future chair of the Bruguiere Consortium, to Arabella, daughter of Master Guguremu of the East Aldenard Trading Company. The couple would exchange their eternal vows here today, and the happiness that is theirs may usher in a new era of prosperity for one and all. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present my son's lovely bride, the Lapis Maiden, whose beauty minstrels will sing of for ages to come. Damn you, Hildibrand Manderville. You had one job. Oh, God. She's beautiful. Were the rabble expecting otherwise? She is my bride, after all. Milady, they say your beauty transcends even the boundaries of time. When we are wed, you will want for nothing. Pray, give your hand unto me. Hildebella. My sun and stars, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. I am yours and shall be forevermore. What have you done with my bride, you cross-dressing deviant? Briardian says, ugh. Not quite what I had intended, but I suppose it serves our purposes. Fear not, ladies and gentlemen, for Miss Arabella is safe and sound. I, Hildibrand, agent of enquiry, inspector extraordinaire, have but assumed the maiden's appearance to ensnare the vile fiend who would take aim at her life. The fiend who now lies defenselessly before me. The game is up, Fanus. Or shall I call you by another name? The thief of many faces. Me? The thief? Are you mad? It appears that my masterful deductions have proved beyond the grasp of your mind. Very well, allow me to elucidate. While there is not a soul in the realm who has not heard the tales of Miss Arabella's beauty, there are but 2 men here in Costa del Sol who had gazed upon her lovely visage before today. Her father, Guguremo, and her steward, Lewenhart. As you yourself admitted on multiple occasions, Master Vanus, you were to have your first glimpse of your bride-to-be today. Considered in this light, would you not say your reaction upon seeing my face was most unnatural? Who else could see through my ingenious disguise? Who could know at a glance that I was not the fair maiden? None save you. Ye have 1,000 faces. Ellie says, and anyone else with half their wits about them? How dare you make a mockery of my wedding day? Guards, arrest that pervert at once. Lock him up in jail and throw away the key. Arabella? Oh, thank the gods you're safe. Come with me quickly. There's a dangerous madman about. Glove on his right hand. Could it be? The man is a fool, but it would have behooved you to listen to him. Alas, you did not, and what is yours is now mine. That's the thief! Stop wasting your time with that imbecile and arrest him! God. You came all the way for me? You love me. You really, really love me. So play on Sally Fields. The attention is most flattering, but I have taken what I have come for, and now I must away. My lords, my ladies, till we meet again. Ellie says, I fear that the real Vanus was found and gagged in a storage room. Truly, Miss Arabella, I am sorry. Well, hi, Jakey. Come on. Come on. There we go.
For what, milady? The banquet was more exciting than I could ever hope for. Vanus and his father were furious, of course, and our marriage has been called off. But perhaps it is for the best. I would find my own way to make father happy by living my life as I would live it. It is you, Inspector Hildibrand, who taught me this lesson. For the love of the gods, Ellie says, somebody find him a change of clothes. Ellie says, but one thing still puzzles me. The thief's challenge said he would steal the Lapis Maiden's virtue, yet in the end he took only her neck piece. Ooh, gee. Sorry for the brief interruption there. My cat fell off the back of my desk. And since it's going to be 15 in a few more months, I always have to make sure that Kitty is okay. And he is fine, thank God. He ran off somewhere, which means he's probably safe, and probably pretending not to be embarrassed for falling off the back of my desk. Anyway, let's get back to this. Lewenhart says, now that you mention it, Master Guguremu told me about the clasp when it first arrived. Engraved with the mark of the sun goddess, it is known as one of the many treasured pieces from the Bruguière collection, known by many as Azema's virtue. The maiden's virtue, indeed. When the next challenge comes, we must take extra care to read between the lines. Over here, Inspector, it says, made you look. The fiend plays us for fools. Give that to me at once. When next we meet, I shall come to claim the victor's spoils. Another riddle. If nothing else, it appears the thief has abandoned any foolish notions of my assassination. Still, we must ever be on guard. The fiend attempted murder once. He may very well do so again.
Definitely, Inspector. I must agree. One can never be too wary when dealing with a murderer. Riordan says, "Hear me, you man of 1,000 faces. You sealed your fate when you called me out by name. Mark my words, when next we meet, you will be mine." Hildibrand, "Yes, it was the Phantom Thief who was to blame for that bomb. Truly, verily, indubitably the Phantom Thief. Most certainly." All right. The Parlay minigame is now available. You've unlocked the Parlay minigame. Entertain yourself as many a Manderville man has before you by opening the toy chest in any inn room. To the victor goes a priceless treasure. Will the smile of a champion hold secrets untold? Are 8 legs better than 2? Can a Manderville man triumph over terrors and win the day? Coliseum Conundrum. Nashu says, "The key to the next case is also the key to the storeroom. Be sure not to lose it." Wait, it's a real key and a figurative one? At the same time? Is that even possible? I guess we'll find out next time. God. Toy chest. You've acquired a toy chest containing several minigames. Visit an inn room to try your hand at these popular Eorzean pastimes. Okay. We're going to pick up this quest, then we're going to return to the MSQ. Ellie says she has the latest information on the Phantom Thieves' target. Yeah, I was wondering when you'd show up. I've got the latest scoop on the Victor spoils that our many-faced friend has set his sight on. Have you visited the Coliseum of late? There's a tourney in the works, and it's looking to be a big one, the Mithril Cup, sponsored by none other than Ambagina and Sons Mineral Concern. They say that Master Fiercest will be furnishing the prizes himself from his personal collection. Small wonder it's captured the attention of Mr. Sticky Fingers. You are familiar with Concern, yes? It's only the largest mining interest in the Sultanate, after all. The chairman, Master Fiercest, sits on the syndicate and possesses such wealth that the rumor has it he could buy half the realm if he chose to. He's also renowned for being something of a martial arts enthusiast, with his position affording him little opportunity to test his own skills. He settles for living vicariously through the exploits of others, hence his sponsorship of tournaments like the Mithril Cup. My colleague Ganelon is in Ul'dah covering the tourney as we speak. If we were to track him down, I bet he'd be able to give us something to get our investigation started. Let's make for Ul'dah, find Ganelon, and get this investigation started. Okay. Alright, let's go to Annex Shrine. Alright, let's talk to Vidofnir. Vidofnir says, "Ah, 'tis the warrior of warriors and his companions. What bringeth you to mine abode?" Alfino says, "Pray, forgive us for disturbing your recuperation, Vidofnir. I hope your wound does not pain you overmuch." Vidofnir says, "Didst thou imagine me close to death? The thrust was deep, but not mortal. I will heal in time." Aymeric says, "Full glad am I to hear it. You were the guest of honor at our conference, and we failed in our duty of protection. On behalf of Ishgard, I apologize unreservedly." Vidofnir says, I am a dragon full grown, and thou thought to protect me, mortal. I was tempered by the fires of battle ere thy great grandsire learned to crawl. Thy words do remind me of a knight whom I called friend some 1,000 years past. He swore to defend me from harm and hardship. Aymeric says, would that we could return to that era of peace where man and dragon knew such comradeship. Elfino says, would that our every effort to do so were not undone by ancient rancor. Vidofnir says, for a truth, there can be no peace while Nidhogg's shade yet lingereth. Elfino says, that much is plain, yet we lack the strength to banish him. Thus do we make for Somal, to beseech the aid of your sire once more. Vidofnir says, folly, thou knowest as well as I how he will answer. Aymeric says, Hraesvelgr's heart remains unchanged then, a pity. But if it is folly to hope, I am content to die a fool. Vidofnir says, as hath ever been the way with thy kind, go then, but be warned. The shade's presence hath driven its minions to frenzy. Elfino says, thank you, Vidofnir. We shall disturb your rest no longer. I don't know what to take there. Just pick your poison, I guess. So my FC mates went, oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And of course I had to type back, SpongeBob SquarePants. Vidofnir says, thine assistance is not lightly considered, warrior of warriors. I will not rest upon my haunches, even as thou risketh harm at my behest. Nay, I shall strike where thou canst not, and mete out deserved punishment to those flying pests that disturb the sanctity of our holy peak. Aymeric says, Lucia's report described antics trying in detail, but her words failed to convey the overwhelming strangeness of standing here in the domain of dragons. Elfino seems eager to press on, winning over the worm. Though I expected no better answer from Vidofnir, I take little pleasure from having been proven right. It would seem that our presence at Zenith will be every bit as unwelcome as I had anticipated. But what is the ire of one great worm to a trio of self-confessed fools such as ourselves? Let us begin our ascent. Aymeric says, after you, Master Elfino. Scout ahead if you wish, Cav. We shall join you outside Mogholm. Alright, speak with Sir Aymeric outside Mogholm. See if Vidofnir has anything new to say. Oh. Go to Mogholm. Elfino says, the Lord Commander seems lost for words, nor can I blame him. I recall being similarly awestruck when I first beheld this vista. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I had heard tales of the world above the clouds, but never did I dream. One's mind paints a pale picture of its majesty. Alfino says, few live to see such wonders. I'm reminded of my first visit to this peak, where Estinien and Izael yet walked at our side. Koopa? Is that you, Gav? Alfino, if it isn't Mog, Don't tell me you've forgotten my name, Kupo. After all we've been through together. But at least you remember me. You do remember me, don't you, Gav? How could I forget you, Moglin? Hope I'm right. How could you mistake me for that overstuffed throne warmer? I'm Moghan, the courageous Moogle who guided you to Zenith, Kupo. But putting our shared history to one side, what brings you and your friends to Mogholm, Kupo? Another audience with old Hraesvelgr. Well, I hope you've brought the horn, Kupo. With the winds as gentle as they are, a good loud toot should reach the great worm's ears easily enough. Alfino says, that is good to hear, Moghan. Thank you. We had best press on to Zenith while the winds are in our favor. Now, that was unexpected, Kupo. Chief Moglin will want to hear about this. I forgot Moglin was the chief. Alright, blow the horn on the top floor of Zenith. Alfino says, pray, sound the horn, Gav. Aymeric says, we must win Hraesvelgr to our cause. Fail in this, and Ishgard's fate is all but sealed. You dare summon me again, mortals?
Great Hraesvelgr, 'tis not lightly that we beg this audience. Pray hearken to our words, for they concern the future of man and dragon both.
Greetings, Hraesvelgr. I am Aymeric de Burrell, acting ruler of the nation of Ishgard. I am come before you to parley on behalf of my people.
To parley? Thinkest thou thy purpose unclear to me? Thou art come to beg mine aid in the battle against the shade of my brood brother.
You foresaw mine intent.
I but read that which is writ plain in thine eyes. Would that thou had wit enough to scry the answer in mine. My beloved Shiva did once build a bridge twixt man and dragon, a bridge which thy treacherous forefathers saw fit to tear down, as thou well knowest.
Lis ek niet ek kasmon ikini. Lis nuan jas an es in. Salen monanesh indai in.
Thinkest thou Nidhogg was alone in despairing at the murder of our brood sister? Thinkest thou mine own soul did not cry out for vengeance? Know then that upon that accursed day my heart did wither in my breast, and thy kind became unto me the harbingers of despair. Tis only Shiva's gentle dream that preventeth me from flying at Nidhogg's shoulder. Be grateful that I swore to abjure aggression ere I consumed her. I permit my children to offer or deny the aid as they see fit, to warn thy people of my brood brother's coming, that thou wouldst dare ask more of me, but affirmeth thine incurable arrogance.
We understand that in your despair at man's betrayal, you seek only the refuge of solitude. But despite your protestations of spent faith, do you not still nurture the smallest flame of hope?
Perceivest thou such light in the dusk of mine existence?
I do. If you claim I see falsely, then tell me, why did you consent to bear Rizel upon your back?
Izael. Piteous, deluded Izael. That child did lament her past sins and sought to balance the scales with her remaining days. 'Twas her unquenchable passion, so alike to that of my beloved, which did spur me into flight. And for mine own part, I would countenance no longer the hands of evil men to use my brood brother's eye for ill.
So you do distinguish between those who acknowledge and repent their sins and those who perpetuate them. Interesting. It seems to me that you have not, in fact, lost faith in mankind as a whole. Rather, you weigh our respective merits by how we allow the past to influence our future.
Mlosk Asisa. Ekmon kin unaen.
Spare me thine idle sophistry. Even were there a mote of truth in thy reasoning, what of it? Wouldst thou have me slay mine own sibling to save a city of mortals?
Should we suffer ties of blood to bind our hands, then? Nay, if the crime is one of unconscionable evil, we must needs condemn it, even should the transgressor be our closest kin. When my father corrupted himself and his followers with the power of a primal, I beseeched the warrior of light to slay him, an act alike to patricide. That he did not die by my hand matters little. If anything, it heaps greater disgrace upon my name. But had my father not fallen, he would have drawn countless thousands into a holy war of hellish proportions, which I hold the greater crime. Thus did I order his execution, sparing the lives of my people and yours. Alas, your brother Worm now prepares to murder those whom I sought to spare. What is more, he has taken my comrade's body for his own. But if I must slay my dearest friend to defeat my direst foe, I will not flinch from my duty.
Sekmon infin. Ses antis ekmon. Kin al-ud.
Thou wouldst strike down thy friend, and by example of thy righteousness, persuade me to break mine oath and kill my kindred?
Sloskna. Dyrkin iles. Kolhes nar inish. Draor in.
Heed me, my child. The servants of Hydaelyn envision a different outcome. They intend salvation not only for Ishgard, but for the doomed dragon slayer as well.
Danitek. Garjas. Losk in an. Slisva holkas. Kain na.
Believest thou this shade to be Nidhogg returned? Is it not merely a manifestation of his vengeance, the shadow cast by thy brood brother's rage? I would not command thee, but ponder well thy course, lest it lead thee unto greater remorse. So we could say, while this shade of vengeance remains, the future will ever be uncertain, or help us save our companion, or nothing. I think we would go for the first one.
Estinien, eskedir ulgan an. In an hesnesh an. Jas ong. On inga.
Nidhogg's transformation into rage incarnate is, in part, of mine own doing. I rendered unto him mine eye, and empowered his vengeance thereby. But 'tis the purity of my blood brother's wrath that lendeth him an all-surpassing might.
Al in on ulwota. Smahes in an.
Hast thou the strength of will to stand against so terrible a shadow, I wonder? 'Twould seem I must put thee and thy companions to the proof.
Sway in Ratatoska this die an. Slosk kin. Skor ich les imo.
I shall await thee in the ruins wherein Ratatoskr once dwelled. Heed well the words of my children and hasten thee to the place of thy trial. Efino says, another day, another trial. Such ordeals must seem almost mundane to you by now. Would that I could say the same. Aymeric said, I believe I spied a wyvern landing just outside the palace. It is doubtless one of the children of whom Hraesvelgr spoke. Come, my friends, let us not keep our escort waiting. Aymeric says, for the sake of Ishgard, I shall overcome whatever trial is placed before me, and I have no doubt that you will do the same, Gav. Elfino says, another day, another trial. Such ordeals must seem almost mundane to you by now. Would that I could say the same. All right. Imperious Wyvern. My broodmates and I will bear you to the place of your trial. Make your preparations. All right. Let's go in with duty sport. If for no reason, then I get to see Aymeric tank. That's kind of cool looking. Oh, this is a level 60 duty. My Wondrous Tales is already done for the week. Let us prove our worth, my friends. Cloud Gardener. Looks like rocks. Okay. Didn't mean to do that, but alright. Hit the wrong button. Didn't realize I was a chick on the front of there. Kind of cool. Done this one on any number of times and never paid attention to that before.
There! You underestimate me!
Hi, Chieftain Moglin is here. By the 12, it's Chieftain Poppy. And he should be part of the trial.
Away with you! To the House of Leveilleur! Away with you!
Okay, we killed him. Yay. I pray that they aren't too badly hurt. Alfino says, I didn't expect to face the Mughals. Chief Moglin, Kupopo, that's enough. You made your point. This isn't a fight to the death, Kupo. Alright. We want to hit those little Mughals out of the circles they're in. It isn't a race, so let us pace ourselves. I got rid of one of them. Ouch. Might as well get all three of them.
Away with you! Down with you!
That's a nasty little attack there. So we're gonna go to the end here. I'm gonna be up against the wall there.
I have my pride.
How do you have your pride now, you know? Ooh. I was not expecting him to turn around.
Away with you!
Put her back against this wall.
I have my pride.
All right, we did it.
Down with you!
Thou hast weathered my trials thus far, but I am not convinced. I will try thy limits. I don't think there's anything special about these wyverns. Take them out. Well, you don't want to stand in the poo that Alfino just got out of. So he made a little ice bridge for us.
Focus. Release.
So with LB, with single target, you want to have melee do it. You got a line of targets, preferably physical range do that. Bard dancer, machinist, or you have one of the magical range do it. It's a third choice. But I was a little concerned about how that fight with that horse would go. A dog will spare thee no clemency, but thus neither must I. So I decided to burn the limit break early. I could have waited until we're here, Svalgard, but... Here we go. Come, warrior, show me what strength. Let's remain in thy frail mortal shell. Want to get away from Aymeric with that. Go to the side.
Away with you. Focus. Release.
The sky is the domain of dragons. How wilt thou contend with such mastery? Oh, that's sneaky.
Have my pride.
Stack marker. Stay stacked. kind of stay a little towards the center so you don't have to deal with that. Don't have to run too much. Diamond Storm. I forgot what that was.
You underestimate me.
I'm gonna just stay still here. Stack marker. Move the side a little bit. So Racefelger said, "Thy resolve hath withstood my scrutiny. Mayhap there is hope to be had in one such as thee." He said, "Fight on, warrior, press thy attack." Good. All right. They don't have anything to say. Oh, wait. Gave my all. I pray it was enough. Go back. I shan't soon forget this trial. Even bereft of an eye, my brood brother was a fearsome foe indeed. But having tasted thy strength firsthand, full well can I imagine how thou didst bring him low. The dread title of Azure Dragoon is no empty appellation. Very well. I shall trust in the seed of man one last time. By thy deeds shall the flickering hope that lingereth yet within my heart be kindled anew, or extinguished forever. That you yet stand is ready proof of your determination, mortals. Let us fight as allies, then, and together banish my brood brother's vengeful shade. On my oath, the wrath that once was Nidhogg shall meet its end.
Taishi S.E. Isa.
This I swear on the memory of my beloved Shiva and on the soul of lost Izael. We did it. We did it. What does Aymeric say? Countless times have I fought the minions of Nidhogg, but never did I imagine that I would one day face Hraesvelgr himself. Oh, my poor ribs. It was a painful reminder of Great Worm's might. Aymeric says, and had he truly meant us harm, we would not be standing here now. Plainly, his intent was to teach. His onslaught forced me to recall my training about the speed of the dragon, his balance, his blind spots. It was, in short, a very thorough lesson. Moglen says, ow, 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 Kupo, Gav. Let me begin by congratulating you on the completion of your trial. For one with a name more befitting a jester, you fight with the savagery of a rabid demon. Do you see how my wings are kinked? Even my palm aches. After this drubbing, I fear my loyal subjects will have to bear the load of my personal chores for quite some time, Kupo, possibly indefinitely. Moglen says, what? When I told you that about Gav's trial, I didn't mean for the rest of us to suffer. Moglen says, that's triple shifts for you, Moghan. Butter. Triple? But that's not fair. There's no justice, Kupo, none at all.
Our negotiations proved rather more strenuous than I had anticipated, but the results seem well worth the effort.
The battle was indeed hard won. Thank you, my friends. I would never have earned Hraesvelgr's cooperation had you not seen fit to grant me yours. 'Twas your stalwart heroism that moved the heart of the Great Worm at the last. Any gratitude I can offer is but poor reward for your continued service to Ishgard.
'Twould seem our final reckoning with the dread worm is at hand. I only wish we had some inkling as to when he means to strike.
Right now, Alfino.
Oh, gods.
The cry heraldeth his coming. Nidhogg's shade has taken wing.
It has begun. We must away to Ishgard.
Alfino says, I pray we are not too late. Aymeric says, he's desperate to fly to Ishgard's defense. Ishgard will not last long against Nidhogg and his horde. We must away. Know you then what this roar portendeth?
Aye. I must return to my city without delay.
Then we shall lend you our wings. Let us meet with Nidhogg on the field of battle, and together bring an end to his wrathful song. Full circle.
Remember your training! We hold fast until the Lord Commander returns. Ugh. We must hold!
Oh, Artroel. Oh, Lucia.
By the Fury, that one is the size of Nidhogg.
They're on our side.
Lord Commander!
You are late, Warrior of Light.
Watan and by in.
Nidhogg says, "Wherefore standest thou with these vermin, brother?"
Still walking.
Gracefelger says, "Abandon this war, Shade."
Nal u inga.
The suffering thou sowest serveth no end. The traitor's progeny have learned of their forefathers' betrayal and seek now to make amends with our kind.
Undo kai omon ikin in kastaga stajas skol es son.
Never shall our grief be assuaged, nor our loss forgotten, but reconciliation may yet halt the spread of this plague of enmity. Forsake thy vengeance and be at peace. Yeah, I think that's a no.
Osk mig in eskja in van ihe dolun hikin hermes.
What soft-headed ramblings are these? Thy dalliance with that vile maid hath robbed thee of thy wits. Mayhap her cloying perfume hath made thee forget the stench of our brood sister's lifeblood. Thou darest speak thus of my beloved.
Is ingar liskol nusgar akin sus war.
So the flames of rage may yet be kindled. I feared thy heart's fire had long since gone out. But waste not thy fury on words, brother. Thou shalt have need of it for the battle. Oh my. says.
Estinien faun war Miqo'te tothar this an in.
Thou art weak, Hraesvelgr, a slithering worm who fawneth on the vermin who should rightly be his prey. For 1,000 years have I fought without cease, and thou didst think to prevail against me.
Snalis in Lendwar Elstra.
Oh, glory not in thy victory, Shade. The battle is not yet won. My power and my hope have I entrusted to another. Thine eye, what hast thou done?
Ja, Wa'il and Stra and in.
Fool, thou wouldst trust a mortal with thy strength? I know thee. 'Twas thou who didst intrude upon my lair and best the half of me. But now I am whole, and naught in creation shall deny me of my vengeance. Final steps of faith now accessible. Here we go. Stay out of those. And then we got to get back in the middle here. You want to stay close. Do not go far. We want to get this sneaky first. Pollock does a nasty little corner AoE. They're burning too fast. I'm gonna get to the edges. I'm gonna avoid all this AoE stuff as much as possible. Ideally, want to take those away from the center. With our healers for healing. Want to stay as much to the center as we can. It's going to strafe several times. Actually, only once. Okay. Stay in with the group. Oh, we got him. We'll break Estinien out. Alright, we can't talk to him at all. I'm like trying to duck down and see him there. Alright. Let's exit for our next cutscene.
Estinien!
Is this to be mine end? Nay, I will not allow it. I am of the first brood. I am vengeance incarnate. I am Nidhogg! Thou shalt die by my hand!
This is not your hand, worm!
Thou wilt obey!
I would ask one last favor of you, Warrior of Light. Finish me, now, while I have the beast subdued! You waste your time! Kill me! It is the only way! Ending Nidhogg will be my final duty!
No! You can't die like this! I won't let you!
Undone by human will, wither now.
In the waxing gloom, did wane the lover's moon, watching as their worlds drift apart. One soul's cry, a passion welling within. Sacrifice, a final plea to her king.
The eyes! Cast them into the abyss!
Yet this bond of hope by treachery was broke, scattering her words to the wind.
Oh, because that won't come back to haunt us.
He lives. Ah, Estinien, my ill-fated friend. Lucia, summon the healers. I want them ready to receive him.
At once, Lord Commander.
Allow me to do this much, at least.
Alemon Initectram. Fall in.
The Horde have sensed the fall of their master and scattered to the winds.
You have my gratitude, Hraesvelga. Your deeds this day have saved a great many lives.
Then our alliance has served its purpose.
Ustra udin instra re. Anhesnesh.
Thou didst wield thy power, I granted thee well. 'Twas thine own skill and not mine eye which earned thee victory.
One in nest ik an. Keifta.
I wish thy companion a swift recovery. Fare you well, children of man.
The battle is won. We can do no more for Estinien now than bear him home and wish him well, even as Hraesvelga did. The rest we must trust to the hands of the healers and the grace of the gods.
Bid you welcome, Slayer of Nidhogg. Ever do the gates of Ishgard stand open to our savior? Nice. Through the haze of pain, I swear I sensed. But no, the past is done and we must look to the future. At long last, Nidhogg is gone. His foul spirit cast out once and for all. I only pray that Estinien survives the ordeal. Me too. Elfino seems distracted. Your battle with Nidhogg's shade will beget many an epic ballad, Gav. And rightly so. It was, without a doubt, one of try this again. It was, without a doubt, one of your more epochal victories. Though I must admit that I took greater joy in seeing you emerge from the experience unscathed. And not only for your own sake. Had you not been there to aid me, those infernal eyes would still be fused to Estinien's mail. Yet even with Nidhogg gone, I cannot help but wonder how much of our friend remains. Let us pay a visit to Lucia and beg news of his condition. Oh, we're gonna go the wrong way. Or if Firmalbeard has anything. Elfino says, "Let us speak with Lucia. She will know how Estinien fares." Though our principal foe lies defeated, we shall continue to keep order inside the walls and protect the citizenry. In that much, at least, the duties of the Temple Knights remain unchanged. Pray, keep your voice down. Nothing changed there. Gav, Master Elfino, my honored friends, as if winning Hraesvelga to our cause was not enough, you took it upon yourselves to rid us of our... Let's try again. Yeah, Master Alfino, my honored friends, as if winning Hraesvelgr to our cause weren't not enough. You took it upon yourselves to rid us of his brood brother. I know not how to thank you. Alfino says, my own contribution was hardly noteworthy. The true saviors of the day were Gav and Estinien. One triumphed over Nidhogg's shade through strength of his arms, and the other through strength of will. And speaking of Estinien, what news of his recovery? Lucia says, The Azure Dragoon was conveyed to the infirmary, where he now resides under the care of our hospitalier captain. I'm told he has yet to regain consciousness. But, as you know, Estinien's mind and body were held hostage for many days. We must be patient and allow the process of healing to begin. In the meantime, you would do well to rest and recover from your own ordeals. But surely... Sir Aymeric is never long from Estinien's bedside and will send word the moment there are any developments. Now, if I have satisfied your concerns, I believe Lord Edmont and his sons are most eager to celebrate your return. Very well, First Commander. Come, Gav. 'Twould seem that we are awaited at Fort Tom Manor. Lucia says, Pray, call upon Lord Edmont. I gather Fort Tom Manor holds its breath for your return. We are a son of Fort Tom Manor, House Fort Tom. Good evening to you, Master Tia, and welcome home. As Lord Edmont embraces you as family, so too do we. Welcome, Master Tia. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes. Oh! Onorwa has armor on.
The heroes of the hour return.
We but did our duty, my lord. It was the memories of fallen friends and not our heroism which saw us through at the last.
I gave every ounce of my strength, but mine efforts would have counted for naught had the Warrior of Light not arrived to challenge the Great Worm. As a sworn knight of Ishgard, I had hoped to do more for my city.
Well, we cannot all be heroes, dear brother. Let us put away our pride for a moment and revel in the valiant deeds of our comrade. For your sterling service to Ishgard, we salute you. And while we're on the subject of valiant deeds, I believe I myself have earned some small measure of recognition. Under my watchful command, the ballistas of the Outer Ward struck down a veritable swarm of Dravanian invaders.
My lord's command was certainly watchful. He bravely watched as the siege crews took aim, and continued to watch as countless wyverns met their end. Indeed, the ward's defenders proved so well drilled that my lord had little occasion to stop watching.
There will be time enough to determine who is most deserving of recognition later. Our friends are doubtless weary from their exertions. I had chambers prepared in expectation of your return. You are welcome to retire at your leisure.
I'm most grateful for your hospitality, my lord, but I believe I shall pay a visit to the Temple Knight's Infirmary. Pray excuse me.
Our Master Alfino has grown. The plight of his stricken brother-in-arms pains him more than his own hurts. in which respect he has come to resemble you, Warrior of Light. Go then, visit the Azure Dragoon, and grant him what comfort you may.
We prayed for your safe return, Master Tia, and if I may be so bold, welcome home. Aww. The manservant. Once more you risk your life in service to Ishgard. We are forever in your debt. Onorwa says, if my lord's irrepressible optimism were ever to fix upon something about which he had cause to be optimistic, I dare not think what he might achieve. Menelaine, without the guiding hand of yours truly, House Eilenart's famous dragon killers wouldn't have killed half so many dragons just now, as I shall be sure to tell my lady when next we meet. Archwire says, at long last, Nidhogg is gone. No true son of Ishgard could wish for more, yet scores of my brother knights fell in the battle, and I find my joy tempered by their loss. Go, Warrior of Light. We will not begrudge you time spent at a comrade's sickbed. Andalou says, okay, he didn't say anything different. Lucia says, Estinien is resting in our infirmary. The sickbeds are our front line now, and the battle to save the wounded continues unabated. Gav, my friend, what can I do for this savior of Ishgard? You seek Master Alphino. Ah, he came to relieve me of my vigil a short while ago. When he begged to sit at Estinien's side, I could not well refuse him. Though he would sooner faint than admit it, the boy must be exhausted by Hraesvelgr's trial and all that followed. Estinien is blessed to have such devoted comrades. Aymeric appears lost in nostalgia. My own friendship with Estinien began some 10 years past, shortly after we joined the Temple Knights. I learned his name soon enough, but Estinien barely registered my existence. I was less a fellow recruit and more a shadow which occasionally darkened his path, and so I might have remained had fate not seen fit to intervene. While out on patrol, our company was set upon by a dragon, and we were the only two to survive. The experience forged a bond between us, as such life-threatening situations are wont to do. Despite our friendship, he remained an intense and solitary youth, wholly obsessed with claiming vengeance upon Nidhogg. Revenge was ever at the forefront of his mind. Revenge for the death of his parents and revenge for his younger brother. I would venture that in Alphino he sees something of his lost sibling. And in the ungentle chidings of Estinien, Alphino has found the elder brother he never had. Truth be told, Estinien's tactless observations have saved me from disaster more than once, and I can well understand Alphino's affection for him. He is a friend for whom I would gladly... Lord Commander, your presence is required in the infirmary. Is he? Tell them I'm on my way. So it is over, then. I did not take the Azure Dragoon for a man to pass in his bed. Captain Whitecape ordered me to fetch Sir Aymeric with all haste. I know no more than that. Quickly, Gav, we must go to him. All right, upon proceeding to the infirmary, several cutscenes will play in sequence. recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Proceed.
Estinien!
Cease your mewling, boy. It grates my ears.
Forgive me. When I saw you awaken, I could not... It was such a relief. We feared you might never wake up.
Now, Estinien. If Master Alphino thought any less of you, you would still be Nidhogg's plaything. Or dead.
Aye, 'twas but a jest. I thank you, Alphino. And you too, Warrior of Light. Quite how you managed to persuade Hraesvelgr to aid in his brood brother's downfall I cannot imagine. But full glad am I that you did. 'Tis an honor to share the mantle of Azure Dragoon with one such as you.
I, for my part, owe you an apology. When last we met, I did willingly loose an arrow at your heart. Can you forgive me?
There is naught to forgive, Aymeric. You but acted in defense of Ishgard, as is your duty. Were you any less single-minded about it, I would not follow you into battle, nor trust you at my back. Besides, I had come to the selfsame conclusion, that I would have to perish for Nidhogg to be stopped. So let us dispense with the hand-wringing. I have heard enough mewling for one day.
Oh!
The tendrils of Nidhogg's foul presence bound up every fiber of my being, usurping my senses, but I yet retained some trace of awareness. The worm's mind was as a vast and tumultuous sea. Endlessly its black waters churned, his grief and despair at Ratatoska's murder never calming, never receding. Driven by this surging current came wave upon wave of unrelenting rancor. It was the very image of my own heart. There I saw the dark reflection of the hatred I felt after Nidhogg slew my family, when no path remained save vengeance against dragonkind. Neither one of us had a choice. But I was blessed with something Nidhogg was not. Comrades and teachers to console and admonish me. Had I not had them to gainsay my obsession, it would surely have consumed me as Nidhogg's did him, and we would have been in all respects alike. Though his shade is banished, his spirit scattered upon the sea of clouds, I feel no joy at his passing. Where once I craved vengeance, I now crave rest. Lord Commander, my hunt is at an end. I would lay down the mantle of Azure Dragoon.
My friend.
He has tired himself with too many words. I doubt not that he will make a full recovery, but he must be allowed some few days of quiet.
I too must see my path to its end. Sleep well, my friend.
Following the battle with Nidhogg on the Steps of Faith, Sir Aymeric called an assembly that he might make his final proclamation as acting head of state. "'Twas there, with one decree, that the 1,000-year rule of the archbishops was ended, paving the way for a new republic. The governance of Ishgard would now be placed in the hands of high and lowborn alike, their ranks represented by the newly founded House of Lords and House of Commons. Church was separated from state. The foundation for change had been carefully laid, and the reforms proposed by Ishgard's new government passed into law without incident. His duty done, Aymeric de Burrell gladly stepped down from the Archbishop's dais, only to be raised unto the highest seat in the House of Lords. Though he strove at first to refuse this honor, the unexpectedly strident voice of the Count de Durandare left him little choice but to accept. And so it was that the winds of gentle revolution came to stir. Prominent among the many honored guests at Aymeric's investiture were the ambassadors of Jakethecat, a fitting symbol of Ishgard's newfound peace. The people looked on in awe as he soared through the heavens on dragonback. And by their cheers did they hail him an Azure Dragoon for a new age. Thus were the notes of the dragon song rewritten. The din of war giving way to a rising litany of peace and hope.
Is neutral chasse? Gav, was it? We have an airship standing by that can ferry you to Azizla. No. Aymeric says, I was gazing out at the sea of clouds in an all too rare moment of idleness when I chanced to behold a certain hero wending his way towards the city on dragonback. Welcome home, Gav. Nay, 'twas no grave matter that moved me to greet you in person. Between you and me, I merely sought respite from the pressures of office. No sooner do I surrender my role as temporary head of state than I am burdened with a position of more permanent responsibility. I fancy that it echoes in some small measure the way you must feel when your improbable feats of heroism are rewarded with still more impossible challenges. To which much is granted, much is expected. The myth which guided our society for generations lies in tatters. Am I then to be scorned for building upon the system of nobility that I once sought to tear down? And what strange jest is this that places me at its pinnacle, an archbishop's bastard at the head of the House of Lords? But these questions are for me to answer. It is not in man's nature to change overnight. This I learned through painful experience, and it is this hard lesson which convinced me to take the path which we now follow. Even as we rebuild the bridge between man and dragon, so must we reimagine Ishgard, one carefully placed stone at a time. We must remember that it is not for us that we lay this groundwork, but for the men and women that our children will become. May our towers rise proudly from the fundament of our legacy. I hear word from Captain Whitecape that Estinien has vanished from his sick room. His willfulness survives undiminished. Should you ever happen upon our unmannerly friend on our travels, pray assure him that I shall keep Ishgard safe until he deigns to come home. Thank you, Gav, and please convey my warmest regards to Master Alfino. Alright, we're going to speak with Alfino at House Forton Manor. Welcome, Master Tia. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes. Praise Helone, you have returned to us. Aw, that's nice. Solette? Master Tia, Solette, my name is Solette. I'm sorry, I've just begun working here and I'm not... You're rather famous, you see, and pray excuse me. Small talk. I had my spirit ready, Master Tia, and I'm proud to say that my hand only trembled ever so slightly. Tataru says, "You saved the day again, Gav. Not that I ever doubt you would." Alfino says, "You spoke with Sir Aymeric. I do not envy him his new position. Ishgard has chosen a new road, but one littered with the detritus of 1,000 years of broken faith. Yet, though her people may stumble from time to time, I know of none better than Sir Aymeric to lead the march of progress. As for us, there remains the small matter of ushering in a new dawn in the shadow of inscrutable Ascian machinations and a seemingly endless procession of primals. But we too must walk our chosen path, no matter how treacherous the footing." Ooh, we got the Dragon Song Orchestra on roll. Nice. In the wake of Ishgard's governmental reform, new airship routes have been sanctioned. You may now travel to a selection of distant locales from the landing in Ishgard. That's kind of handy. It's our warrior of darkness. Or one of our warriors of darkness. Thank you, Bland Hairs. Nay, you need not remain there. We shall rendezvous at the usual place. Elidibus says, "All is proceeding as expected, then." Aye, there's naught to concern us. Aside from one overly curious mouse. This way. Him again. Elidibus says, "It is of no moment. They will play their part, and we shall play ours." Dusted gray mist give way to azure skies. Man and dragon rise above, voices joined in song. But beneath shrouded boughs, beneath the scope of light, shadow stirs. Floor the horde. This alpine coat. Well, let's see what it'll look like dyed. Oh, that's kind of cool. I wonder what the second dye does. Oh, that dyes the shirt. How cool is that? I'll have to dye that. A souvenir of our visit to Heavensward, right? Promises kept. House Forton Night. A new day dawns in Ishgard, and the House Forton Knight has tidings for you. Master Tia, you are come at a most excellent time. An invitation from a truly preeminent personage was delivered to the manor but a short while ago. Would that you had been present to receive it, but in any event, Sir Aymeric de Burrell, Lord Speaker of the House of Lords, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and Viscount of House Burrell, cordially invites Master Tia to dine with him at his estate. You seem surprised. The messenger assured me that his lord had broached the subject with you at an earlier date, when the arrangements for the peace conference were still being finalized. Of course, the intervening moons afforded little opportunity for leisure, but with the happy advent of peace, 'tis plain the Lord Commander sees no further cause to delay. What say you? I should be glad to accept, or I would, but I haven't the foggiest what to wear. Any thoughts? There, let's do that one. He's not going to say no. You would ask me? Well, I'm sure that as a personal friend of Sir Aymeric, you are at liberty to wear whatever you deem appropriate. That said, when in doubt, a man of note could do no worse than an alpine coat. At least that is what Lord Amanelaine has been heard to say. When you are ready, pray report to the Astrologicum. A man of House Burrell shall be waiting near there to escort you the rest of the way. Pray look for Sir Aymeric man near the Astrologicum, who will escort you to Burrell Manor. Okay. Well, let's go inside, see if they have anything to say. If there's anybody there. Ah, there's Elfino. Tataru. When the horde began their assault, I made sure to have my trusty grimoire to hand and incantations at the ready. It had been some time since I last conjured Carbuncle, however, and, well, it's probably best that we not discuss how that ended. Elfino, it would seem that our dear friend Estinien has slipped from his sickbed and vanished from the city. Were it anyone else, I might expect a word of farewell, but such is not his way. Nevertheless, I shall thoroughly berate him for his lack of manners the next time we meet. Welcome home, Master Tia. I see you yet find it passing strange to be greeted in such a manner. Upon assuming the mantle of Count, my Lord Artoirel's first instruction to the servants was to greet the greatest friend of House Fortin as a member of the family. Master Tia, Solette, my name is Solette. She hasn't done anything new. Alright, he didn't have any small talk for us. I am going to go to the Forgotten Night and dye this outfit, I think. Let's see what I've got for dyes in here. I'm going to pay through the nose for the pearl white, but It looks so good. All right. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for glam. Oh, it's a quest. Okay.
Children of the land, do you hear echoes of truths that once rang clear? Two souls intertwined, one true love they did find, bringing land and heavens near. But flames that burn full bright soon fell dark. Memories dimmed by shadowed hearts. In the waxing gloom did wane the lover's moon, watching as their worlds drift apart. One soul's cry, a passion welling within. Sacrifice, a final plea to her kin. Yet this bond of hope by treachery was broke, scattering her words to the wind.
Forgot to get my die out.
Swelling over long seas of blood are a song, and death an afterthought to those who fight for naught. Alone, lying
Let's go have dinner with a friend. House Steward. Greetings and well met, Master Tia. I have the honor and the privilege to serve as head steward of House Burrell, though admittedly our staff is somewhat smaller than those of other noble families, being countable on one hand. My lord will be overjoyed to hear that you have accepted his invitation. As you will soon see, we have spared no expense. I dare say a man of action such as yourself enjoys nary a moment's respite. Aye, the battlefield beckons even now, I am sure, but for this day we bid you lay down your burdens and raise a glass to peace and prosperity.
To think the Mughals would prove such harsh taskmasters. Forgive me. I did not know you had suffered so in your quest for the horn. I must say, your spirited accounts always come as a welcome change from the arid reports which fill my days. Though I have lived in these lands my entire life, to hear you speak of them, there is much and more I have yet to see. Truly, yours was a marvelous journey.
Though perhaps a bit too long for my liking, or why not join me on the next? It wasn't all sunshine and lemon cakes. So why not join me on the next?
Well, truth be told, when I think back on the sweeping vistas of the churning mists, I do feel some slight pangs of wanderlust. Alas, much as I would like to accept your invitation, I fear my present duties with the House of Lords demand my undivided attention. Someday, perhaps. By your deeds, you have helped us to lay the foundation for lasting reform. The formation of the Republic is but the beginning, for it is not only our system of governance which must needs change. We, the people, must learn to let go of our hatreds and rise above our bloody past. I only pray that I live long enough to see us achieve some measure of success, that I might know the lost did not die in vain.
Fair.
I can still see you there on the steps of faith, striding fearlessly towards the worm. If you could do that, who are we to balk at the challenges ahead? The question of how best to strengthen ties with the other great nations of Eorzea has been debated at length in the Lords and Commons of late. As you may imagine, maintaining stability during this period of historic upheaval is our paramount concern. Nevertheless, we are greatly indebted to the Alliance for their support during the Grand Melee, and it would be remiss of us not to repay their faith in kind. Of course, we owe you the greatest debt of all, And it is my hope that in extending our support to you and the Scions, we might also express our gratitude to our neighbors, nay, our fellow Eorzeans, whom we pray you will continue to protect. The Lords and Commons agree on very little, but not a soul in either house begrudges your order this offer of patronage. For all you have done and will do, we thank you.
To the Scions. Friendship.
May I ask a personal question? Now that the dust has settled, what will you do? Not as a Scion, I mean, but what do you want for yourself?
Gotta think about that one.
Lord Commander, pray forgive the interruption.
News from House Fulton.
An urgent message for the Warrior of Light. I was instructed to deliver it without delay. Master Thancred returned to the manor a short time ago, bearing an injured maiden. Master Leveilleur and Mistress Tataru are tending to her wounds, but they like not her chances. Respectfully, my lord, they have requested the Warrior of Light's immediate presence.
You must go to them, my friend, and I shall go with you.
For every ending marks a new beginning. From tragedy and sacrifice, we rise to greet a new dawn, as did he. Only to be drawn unto another battlefield, another cause, as if by fate.
I need to put my food buff back on. Welcome, Master Tia. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes.
Yes.
Is that...
Alize, Alphinaud's twin sister. She ran afoul of the Warriors of Darkness. I had been tracking them since the ceremony at Falcon's Nest. Little did I know I was not the only one. Evidently, she had learned of their activities and attempted to shadow them on her own. Poorly.
Ooh.
I rescued her in the Twelveswood, and together we fled north. But though I made every effort to cover our tracks, they caught up with us on the Ishgardian border. And in the ensuing struggle, Alize took an arrow to the shoulder. 'Twas only after we had made good our escape that I realized it was poisoned.
Thank you for coming so quickly. And you, Sir Aymeric.
Think nothing of it. How is she?
We have done all we can for now. Although the immediate danger has passed, the poison yet lingers in her blood. We came to Eorzea together, hoping to bring salvation to the realm our grandfather gave his life to protect. But when confronted with the bitter realities of its politics and its petty powermongers, she was driven to anger and to doubt. She refused to become embroiled in what she termed Eorzea's squabbles and distance herself from the Scions. Though she remained hopeful of a brighter future, she would walk her own path. Would that it had not been so perilous. For all our differences, she's as dedicated as any Scion to the salvation of Eorzea. But more than that, she is my sister. To be reunited with her, only to lose her forever. Gods, even to speak the words.
Take heart, Master Alphino. She will be attended by our most skilled chirurgeons. Bear Mistress Leveilleur to the infirmary at once. Apprise Captain Whitecape of the situation, and inform him that she is to be treated as my personal charge.
Wait, don't go. Please, come closer. The warriors of darkness are in league with the Ascians. Slaughtering the primals is but the first step in their plan. They make for Zelvatol to bring about Garuda's summoning and to kill her. You must stop them.
I shall inform the others at once.
Master Thancred, I would ask that you accompany Mistress Leveilleur to the infirmary. Your knowledge of her injuries may well prove useful in determining her treatment.
Of course.
Always danger. Count Edmund says, however much we may change and grow apart, some bonds are unbreakable. Sir Aymeric says, though the fates afforded us the time to share our long-delayed drink, it would seem the rest of my wine cellar will have to wait. As I am constantly reminded, there is no rest for the righteous. Yep, didn't mean to click that one. Alright. Surely they won't let her. Yes, I know. We must trust in Captain Whitecape and his chirurgeons. Did they not bring Estinien back from the very brink of death? I am uncomfortably reminded of how he mocked me for praying at his bedside for days on end. What say you, my friend? Shall we return our attention to a matter whose conclusion we yet have the power to influence? Heavenly eggnog, wildwood scrambled eggs, and spaghetti carbonara. I'm gonna take the elegant silver piece. I don't need the food. Though I am not sure I grasp the full implication of her words, I know we dare not ignore them. Warriors of Darkness, Zelphatal. What is this all about? As Elfino and the others know all too well, there is no rest for the righteous. So, the Warriors of Darkness and the Ascians are conspiring to bring about Garuda's summoning, that they might put her to the sword. Then, when we first encountered them in Loth Astnath, when they were confronting Ravana. Gods, has this been their aim all along? Count Edmund says, "What do you intend to do, Master Alfino?" Alfino says, "There's much and more I do not understand, but I know this. A primal summoning cannot be ignored. Alize risked her life to uncover this plot, and we squander her gift at our peril. Gef, will you accompany me to Zelphatal and help me stop the Ixal's ritual?" Aymeric says, "Given that Ishgard shares a border with the Ixali homeland, we have a vested interest in the outcome of this ritual. We have been willing to suffer the Beastman's intrusions into Kurthan lands to a point, but the summoning of a primal is an escalation we cannot abide. You shall have our fastest airship, Master Alfino. The mountains of Zelphatal are not easily traversed, and this endeavor demands all haste." Alfino says, "The gesture is most appreciated, Sir Aymeric, but I fear an aerial approach is destined to fail. This is their homeland after all, and the Ixali dirigibles are not to be underestimated. No, experience tells me that the only conceivable approach is by land. I believe it would be wiser to cross into Zelphatal by way of the mountain pass east of Camp Dragonhead." Count Edmund says, "In that case, I shall send instructions for a contingent of the camp's knights to be placed at your disposal. They will secure your safe passage through the mountains and escort you thence to Zelphatal. Though my men are unqualified to confront a primal, they are more than capable of contending with the Ixal. We should be glad of your assistance, Lord Edmund." Aymeric says, "In the event Mistress Alize regains consciousness, we shall share with you any additional information she may provide. May the Fury watch over and keep you safe." Alfino says, "Then let us be off. We can procure any additional supplies we require in Camp Dragonhead." All right. On that cliffhanger, we're going to leave it here for today. And that was an exciting episode. Little cutscene heavy, but man, there's some great fights in there. Holy cow. Let me get to my cat joke page. All right. What is a cat's favorite color? Purple. Purple. On that sorry cat joke note, I will bid you have a good rest of the day. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell if you want to have more notifications that we've posted videos or gone live. We're looking to do Wednesdays. May not make it every Wednesday, but we're going to try. And I hope you have a great day, cats and kittens, evening, whatever time it is by you all. You have a good one, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out.